From 2005's Face to Face album, that's Westlife. And before you raise me up, you were vibing out with Sean's Old School Show. And let me tell you, Sean was sweating bullets till about 2 minutes ago, convinced I wasn't going to make it on time. And to be honest, at one point I wasn't so sure myself. Picture this. Me on my bike, weaving through the potholes and sometimes falling into them after catching the Corrs over at St. Anne's Park a little bit earlier on. And one of those potholes was so deep, I actually needed a grappling hook to climb out. But you know what? I'm here now. So a huge thanks to Sean for holding things down. I need to tell you that he's going to be back next Sunday at 8 p.m. with yet another dose of nostalgia. And you know what you have to do. Simply don't miss it. Anyway, my friends, here we are, you and me. Good morning to you, the night owls, the late night shift warriors, and lovers of chill vibes. And welcome to the way too early night cruise here on Freedom FM, where we swap the chaos of the day and pothole riddled streets for something smooth, easy, and sometimes, just sometimes, a little bit romantic. So, what is lined up for you this morning? Well, I can tell you that our Love Slowed Down game is on the way after 1 a.m. And in this hour, us nosy parkers here on the night cruise, we want to hear from you for our I Know What You Did Last Weekend bit. So if you want to jump in either of those, or to give a shout out, or just to get something off your chest, you know, we are here from you. So text or WhatsApp me on 086 206 8888. That's 086 206 8888. If you want to email me, you can do that on hello@freedomfm.ie, or find me, Voice Active Fergs, on Insta, Threads, Blue Sky, and says.us. Basically, whatever works for you, I'm here and I'm waiting. Anyway, with all that said and done, let's make the next 2 hours something special, shall we? And we'll do that starting in 3, 2, 1. Leona Lewis on the way too early night cruise here on Freedom FM, where I've got a question for you. How was your weekend? Did you live it up with old friends and a few drinks? Did you finally conquer that squeaky cupboard door that's been haunting you? Or maybe, just maybe, you discovered a movie so good you need to tell the world about it. Well, whatever went down, us rubberneckers listening to the way too early night cruise want to hear all the details. So take this as your chance to spill all for our I Know What You Did Last Weekend feature. No secrets here, my friends, because we are a nosy bunch on the way to early night cruise. And since sharing is caring, I'll go first. Friday, Miss M and I were soaking up the stereophonics. And when I say soaking up the stereophonics, well, quite literally mean that. It was so wet, but the music was so good. Saturday, bit of a whirlwind, pressure washing the driveway in the morning, catching Leinster take on Glasgow in the afternoon, and finally, a performance from Leinster that was worth paying the entry fee to see. Then we hit an over 40s disco that was so good, I actually might need a foot transplant to ease the pain from all the dancing I did. On Sunday, overslept and almost missed the Corrs at St. Anne's Park, but somehow, I made it. Now, if I'm honest, it was probably the most crammed weekend I've had in years, and I'll probably need to take the rest of June, possibly all of July, and most of August off just to recover. Anyway, it's enough about me, because it is your turn. What kept you busy this weekend? Big, small, wild, or wonderfully uneventful? We want to hear. Text or WhatsApp me on 086 206 8888. That's 086 206 8888. And let's make this night cruise a little bit more interesting. It's the way too early night cruise here on Freedom FM, your late night escape packed with chill, relaxing, and even a little romantic magic from the 90s and the noughties. But you know what? There is a little bit more, because if you ever wished you could rewind time, then we've got the show for you. The Freedom Years here on Freedom FM. When your friend and mine, Alan, steps into the time machine, spotlighting one legendary year between 1990 and 2010, with the biggest hits, the hottest headlines, and all the juicy nostalgia you forgot you actually needed. Think epic throwbacks, pop culture flashbacks, a playlist that feels like flipping through your old CD or mini disc collection. So why not kickstart your mornings with a trip down memory lane at 7 a.m. sharp. Don't miss it. Freedom FM, where the past never sounded so good. Gabrielle on the way too early night cruise here on Freedom FM, where right now we're stepping into our I Know What You Did This Weekend bit, to the part of the show where you get to spill the beans on what went down over your Bloomsday weekend. And first up, we're going to hear from Claire Watson checking in from Santry. She dropped us a message on WhatsApp to 086 206 8888 saying that her weekend was all about Saturday night and the Waterboys at the 3 Arena. Claire says, my friends and I spend the night singing our lungs out, feeling every note and getting totally lost in the music. Thanks for reaching out, Claire, and I bet the atmosphere kind of went bonkers when they played The Whole of the Moon, which hopefully was the last song of the night. Anyway, next up it's Arthur K, who's checking in from Cork. Feargal says, my wife Billy and I did on Friday night what you did on Sunday and got to the Corrs at the Virgin Media Park. Well, I'll be honest with you, I saw them at St. Anne's Park, to be fair. Anyway, Arthur goes on to say it was a great gig and Imelda Mayne's support was the best warm-up act. Well, I have to say, I totally agree with you. Well, I can only add that perhaps, just perhaps, Natalie Imbruglia wasn't too bad either now, was she? Anyway, it's over to you. We want to know what made your weekend special. Big moments, small moments, totally weird or wonderfully chill moments. We want the details. Hit us up. Text or WhatsApp me at 086 206 8888. That's 086 206 8888. And let's make this night even better, because the final round of I Know What You Did this weekend is coming up next. So don't miss out on your chance to get involved. That's what it's called. Keen on the way to early night cruise here on Freedom FM, delivering on those late night, early morning vibes with songs like that. And before we slide into hour two, it's time now to wrap up our final round of I Know What You Did this weekend, the part of the show where you bring the stories and I bring the commentary and maybe sometimes a little bit of snark. And first up, I want to say good morning to Mia Fitzpatrick from Galway. Mia hit me up on WhatsApp to 086 206 8888. Fergie says that Sunday was a big day out for me and the kids, Ali and Kevin. We headed off to watch Shrek the Musical, performed by the local Kids Performing Arts Group. They were brilliant and will be the stars of the future. You know, that sounds like pure family-friendly gold. Shrek the Musical, Mia. Absolute classic, because let's be honest, there's never a wrong time for a big green ogre to be belting out show tunes now, is there? Anyway, up next we've got Joe Dillon from Ballymun. Morning, Joe. Fergie says the Saturday night was magical. My wife Rita and I headed off to the Olympia to see Seven Drunken Nights, the story of the Dubliners. I've seen it before. It was brilliant then, and it was brillianter now. Joe, that is a solid way to spend your Saturday night, isn't it? And fun fact, Ronnie Drew himself was born and lived in the house right across the road from the one where I lived as a kid. Not that any of his talent rubbed off on me at all. Anyway, that does wrap up this week's I Know What You Did this weekend. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who messaged in. You made us laugh, smile, and wish our weekend was half as eventful as yours. Now, if you didn't get a mention this week, don't worry. We're going to be doing it all again next week. But right now, you're going to want to stick around, because up next, it's our Love Slowed Down game. Stay locked in and find out if you know the mystery tune.